Welcome to Dateline Schools, a presentation of the St. Clair County Regional Educational Service Agency with your host, Terry Harrington.
Welcome to Dateline Schools. It's hard to believe we're already in the prom and graduation season for this school year, but we want to help our kids celebrate their education success in a fun and safe manner. So in this edition of Dateline Schools, we're going to talk with Marine City High School Principal William Jedele on how we can make this a safe time for our kids. And we also need to get our kids to graduation, so we're going to take a look at one new community program that's designed to help our high school students academically, but also have some fun at the same time. We'll be looking at the new homework, food, and fun program with the Blue Water YMCA's Susan Ellerkamp. But before we begin this conversation, let's tune in to this education update.
Congratulations are in order for the Tech First Robotics team as they finished 13th at this year's regional competition held March 23rd and 24th in Livonia. The students were also selected for the Cooperation Award, highlighting their ability to work efficiently with other teams during the competition. The name of the award comes from a blending of the two words, cooperation and competition. Hot rodders and gearheads, get ready. The third annual Tech Car Show will be held May 12th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., featuring some of the area's top mods and restorations. Entries are accepted in the categories of high school student car, high school student truck, stock car, modified car, or modified truck. Entries are being accepted now and also the morning of the event. The show will be held rain or shine, and trophies will be awarded for each class. For more information, call 810-455-1010. This fundraiser supports tech students competing in national events. The Marysville Board of Education approved the Marysville Education Association's contract amendment at its last meeting. As reported March 17th in the Blue Water Voice, the amendment suspended a 1% salary increase for the 2011 and 12 school year. Teachers will not receive a raise for the 2012-13 school year, but will receive a 1% increase during the fourth quarter of the 2013-14 school year. According to the agreement, along with the other concessions, is expected to save the district about $950,000. Closet Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson's are needed for the 5th Annual Special Olympics Golf Outing Saturday, June 16th at the Black River Golf Course. The entry fee includes 18 holes of golf with a cart, driving range, and the chance to win prizes. Golfers will receive a lunch and dinner. Non-golfers can also participate by attending the dinner only or by sponsoring a hole. All proceeds for the outing will go to the Woodlands Special Olympics program. For more information, contact Jen Egan at 586-405-1779. The registration deadline is June 8th. Finally, the St. Clair County Health Department would like to remind you that dental services for county residents is available at the Community Dental Clinic through a contract with the Michigan Community Dental Clinics Incorporated. Discounted dental services are available to non-Medicaid, low-income individuals and families through a membership to the Michigan Community Dental Plan. The cost of a lifetime membership is either $50 or $75 per person, depending on the membership level. MCDC also offers services to individuals who have Medicaid, adult and child, Delta Dental Health, Kids, and My Child insurance. For more information or to schedule an appointment, contact the Community Dental Clinic in Port Huron at 810-984-5197 or 877-406-2323. New patients should call 877-313-6232. And now back to you, Terry.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
back to Dateline Schools. Well, this is the month of May, and it's an exciting time for our local high school students. Not only do we have graduation on the horizon, but it's also prom season as well. And we want to make sure our kids have a great time celebrating their educational accomplishments. So joining me on this segment of Dateline Schools is to provide some safety tips is the principal from Marine City High School, Bill Jedele. And Bill, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Terry. Good to be here.
This is an exciting time, I imagine, not only for the kids, but for the parents and for you and your staff as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's, you know, for the seniors, it's the culmination of 4 years of high school and everything before that. And in terms of the prom, you know, they always look forward to that because it's a nice evening out and usually a good time.
You have a lot of concern over safety for your students through this period, kind of worrisome for you at times?
Yeah, at times. I mean, the actual prom itself is not too worrisome. It's what takes place afterwards, which, you know, we in our situation as school administrators don't have a lot of control of.
Mm-hmm. Now, what kind of guidelines or rules do you and your colleagues around the county have to help make this as safe a time as possible as we can for our kids?
Well, we try, you know, obviously to emphasize that drinking and driving are bad choices to make, and that, you know, we do have prom activities that can be very much a lot of fun for kids. But our prom runs from 6:30 to 11, and again, part of that's because of the curfew. Kids should be home by 11. We start out with a dinner, and then the dance afterwards, and the kids are, you know, there to have a good time and can experience that without the alcohol.
Now, how do you deal with, especially now it seems like more and more parents are providing limousines or party buses and those kind of things. How do you control what goes on in those environments when you can't be there?
Yeah, it's really, you know, hard to do that. I think, you know, again, we can only control so much of it, and that's to provide a safe environment for the students while they're, you know, actually at the prom.
Do you find that most kids do that, or do you find it's probably maybe 50-50, you have a limo or they drive themselves type of thing?
Seeing fewer of the limos, you know, I think, again, it's probably the economy. But there used to be quite a few of them, and, you know, it was sort of like who's going to arrive in the biggest limo of the night. But, you know, most of the kids come, you know, with their own vehicles, and again, it's probably due to the economy.
Now, what happens if a student is caught drinking or under the influence, whether at the prom or a party afterwards or even at a graduation open house type of thing?
Well, if it's a school activity, you know, students run the risk of being suspended. If it's a student athlete, then again, the consequences are greater because of the fact that they are an athlete, not only a student. And for our student athletes in our athletic code of conduct, first offense is 1/3 of the season, and then second offense would be the entire season, and third offense is termination. Actually, I guess that second offense is 180 days, 1 year.
I know a lot of schools around the area have kind of adopted a zero tolerance when it comes from the time they meet with the seniors and go over the rules and the guidelines until graduation is over. Do you adopt the same type of program?
We
policy?
Do. Yeah, for the most part. You know, we talk to our students early in the year about making good choices, and, you know, hopefully the message gets across to them.
Do you meet with the seniors, you know, sometime like after spring break and say, okay, here's the rules, here's the process, here's what you need to know, and have a special booklet for them and that type of thing?
No, we really don't. We, you know, cover everything at the beginning of the year in our student handbook, and it covers, you know, a lot of those situations. And then again, our teachers will review and re-emphasize some things at the start of the semester.
Okay.
We have had, you know, assemblies in past years where speakers have come in and talked to our students about, you know, safety and making good choices prior to prom, but we did not do that this year.
Do you see, for the most part, the students really heed what you're telling them and pretty much follow what your guidelines are?
I think for the most part they, you know, they understand they have to make some good choices, and that, you know, there's a lot of risk involved when you're drinking and driving or, you know, under the influence. So most of our students are pretty good.
Okay. Well, the kids, I know, have depended upon their parents all the way through, and having the parents involved is always important. How much more important is it to have the parents involved in these types of activities too?
Yeah, very much so. You know, obviously the parents should know where their child or students are at and who they're with, and whether they're going to be supervised. Again, time limitations should probably be put on the students in terms of when they're supposed to be home. And with cell phones, it's real easy to contact people these days. So having that cell phone and being able to call your student, talk to them, find out where they're at, it's all good stuff.
But it's still a great time for these kids, isn't it?
It is.
Great.
Yeah.
What about for graduation? I know generally graduation that pretty much ends it for you as an administrator as far as the kids are concerned, but how much of the graduation parties and the open houses that the parents like to throw for the kids do you still have to be careful with and kind of oversee a little bit?
We don't actually oversee any of the open houses or after graduation parties. We do have a committee that sponsors a senior all-night party, and that's on the same evening of graduation. Lots of fun activities for students to participate in, and it is pretty much for the entire night, so it helps to deter some of those temptations that are out there.
Is that pretty much run all by parents?
Yes, it is.
But do they have to work with you, make sure things are appropriate or whatever, or is it
for the
you
most
pretty
part?
much let them do?
Yeah, for the most part, the parents have handled it and taken care of it. It's usually at a location outside of town. They rent a hall and have all the activities right there.
How successful have those been for you over the years?
Pretty good. For that particular night, it's a great thing. However, if students make choices to do otherwise, there's always other nights that they could make those choices.
Sure. So I imagine it's a lot of work too. Do you get involved with those? Do you help chaperone those as well, or is that pretty much just left up to the parents?
Pretty much left up to the parents. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of some of the activities that they come up with?
Oh, there's games. There's sometimes they have magicians who show up and hypnotists, and just a lot of fun things to do. There's been other activities like they'll do a casino night, and kind of teach them the ropes in terms of how to play some of the games.
I mean, what a great way to just kind of wrap it up, so it isn't, you have the ceremony and then you're done. I mean, it seems to me like it's a great way to kind of culminate everything, one last chance to meet with your friends.
Yeah, and I think, that's one of the things we always talk to them about is that as a class, it's probably the last time that you're all going to be together. That for whatever reason, some of the individuals who are members of the class might not make it back for reunions or, other activities that they plan.
Okay. Let's switch over to the graduation open houses and things. Are there any guidelines you'd like parents to know to keep them as safe as possible for the kids? Because I'm sure you don't want to hear anything happening to kids that had just graduated.
Yeah, I think, it's probably just the obvious things of don't condone alcohol and don't promote it. And, in most cases, again, know where your child is going and know who's supervising the activity.
What can the community be doing this time of the year to help keep our kids safe and also help with the celebration? I mean, it's a great time for the community to be celebrating.
Again, don't encourage the drinking and condone that. The community itself, they get behind the senior all-night party with some of the sponsorships and providing some of the prizes for students to have, and that's all greatly appreciated. And I'm sure it takes place in other communities besides Marine City.
How many kids are you graduating this year?
We're going to graduate about 180.
Okay, good. I mean, it's hard to believe that a county like us, we actually graduate almost about 2,000 kids every year. So, I mean, that is quite an accomplishment, isn't it?
It is. It's a great thing to see, students who, started out their freshman year and maybe struggle a little bit in the transition, and to see them, walk across the stage and pick up that diploma, it's a fulfilling experience.
How about for you as the administrator and get to shake each student's hand?
It's, it's again, a very satisfying moment for me and our faculty, and, I'm sure the parents too, because they make a lot of sacrifices to help, encourage and support their child.
What about scholarships? So are you noticing more students are earning college scholarships these days, or how is that working out for our grads?
I know
as
that
well?
in our community, the scholarship money that's available has pretty much been consistent and the same. And there's always a lot of scholarships that are available, whether or not the students apply for them, whether they qualify because of the criteria that they need to meet. Sometimes there are years when we have more scholarship recipients than others, but I think financial aid is something that's increasing, you know, in this economy. And a lot of families are getting more financial aid to send their child to college.
How's the scholarship picture looking for your kids this year?
Pretty good. Yeah, our kids are getting about the same amount of money in terms of scholarships that they have in past years.
Okay. We're just about ready to wrap up this segment of the program. I know you've been with these kids for 4 years, and some of them maybe even a little bit more. What kind of last-minute advice does Bill Jedele have to your students, not only Marine City kids, but to the other graduating seniors here in our county?
Oh, the main thing is, you know, be safe and make good decisions so that you don't put yourself at risk.
Do you ever kind of track the kids that leave your building to kind of see what they're doing once they graduate?
Oh, yeah. We do a post-graduation survey, and the majority of the kids respond to it, so we know whether they've enrolled in college and what they're pursuing in terms of majors. We get a pretty good response with that.
And do you take anything that you're doing now and kind of meet with the junior class and say, hey kids, this is you next year?
We have had some seniors who've graduated, been to college for a semester or a year, and they've come back and they've talked to some of the senior classes, and they probably make a better point than I would or any of our teachers would, because they get to hear it from them firsthand.
Great. Well, Bill Jedele, thank you for joining us for this segment in Dateline Schools. And
Thanks,
when we
Terry.
come back, we're going to take a look at a new program for high school students that puts a whole new twist on homework while they're having fun at the same time, so don't go away.
What gets you moving?
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
You fuel your body,
And your mind.
whether you like to throw around the football.
play frisbee in the park,
Or dance in your room.
Moving every day helps give you a healthy body and mind.
And that makes you part of a winning team. Hey, that was my line. Get up and play an hour a day, Doc.
check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
That's www.letsmove.gov.
This is one amazing truffula tree. Can you imagine a place where these grow everywhere? Yes, it's called the forest, a magical place to enjoy with your family. Ooh. So discover the forest and explore all the wonder that's there. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
On this segment of the program, we're going to take a look at a program that on the surface may seem like an oxymoron, but it's really starting to have a good impact on our kids. It's the Blue Water YMCA's Homework, Food, and Fun program. And joining me on this edition of the program is Susan Ellerkamp, the Community Engagement Specialist for the Blue Water Area YMCA. And Susan, welcome to the program.
Thank you, and that's true. You normally do not hear the words homework and fun all in the same sentence. But this is a great program that provides kids with an opportunity to share in a meal together, to get help with basic homework, and then to have an opportunity to participate in recreation activities at the Great Y facility.
Right. Now this program started, what, about second semester
yes,
this
it did.
school year?
Yep, after the first of the year, we got started in February. And originally it started with, we were focusing on high school kids. But we've had such a great participation from volunteers who wanted to be tutors that we were able to expand it and have included 7th and 8th graders in the program.
So how many kids are actually involved in the program?
We do the program on Tuesdays, the guys come and meet, and then on Thursdays the girls have their session. And we have 16 guys signed up right now, and we have 21 girls participating.
Is that about what you were anticipating, a little more, a little less? Or?
Well, we have, because of the volunteers, we even have a waiting list. We have capacity to go 30 kids each night, so there is room to grow the program.
That's great. So how have the kids responded? Pretty good?
Very good. There's one gal, when her parents signed her up, because they didn't anticipate that she was going to be able to graduate with her class. And she was very reluctant the first week, and just even with the homework portion and also the recreation part of it. But by the second week, and this totally made the program for me, she left the homework session with a smile on her face and said, I had no idea that homework could actually be, well, maybe kind of fun. And a lot of that is attributed to her tutor, Connor, but and then she participated in the recreation. So had a tremendous impact on her. And she is anticipating graduating with her class.
Well, fantastic.
Yeah.
And I guess that's probably just one of many success stories that you're able to tell about this program.
Absolutely. There are kids, one of our tutors, Dell, worked with a gal who had a algebra take-home test. And, you know, Dell's a sharp guy, but it took him a minute to refresh his algebra skills, which really was a great lesson for her to realize that everybody has to work at what they're doing at. But by the end of the class, she had her take-home test completed. And, you know, and all she really needed was a little bit of extra help to understand the concepts, because Dell said she was a bright girl. But she went home with that, you know, all completed and ready to go for the next day. So without that little time, she probably would have, you know, she wouldn't have had her homework done. She would have went to school the next day dreading going to class, being unprepared. But instead, she had her homework done, so probably gave her a new sense of confidence walking into that classroom that next day because she was prepared.
Good, and who knows what that's going to lead to.
Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about the tutors, your volunteers.
We have a variety of tutors that range in age from 17 to 82. High school students who have volunteered to help kids. We have a gal who comes all the way from Emmett, who goes to Yale High School, who is tutoring with the girls. And on the other end is a gentleman, Ed Moore, and he's 82, and he is working with a 16-year-old young man. And I can see the benefit of in both the tutor and the student. You know, this young Stefan to have an opportunity to have conversation and work with Ed, who is a seasoned, just a wonderful, gentle man, to get his life experiences and help with homework. But then when I talk to Ed, I see the excitement into his voice as how much he enjoys his time with Stefan as well.
What a great way, too, to bridge that generation gap that always seems to exist.
Absolutely, yes. There are really growing bonds between the tutors and the students.
Now, you said you had enough tutors, so you've expanded it to 7th grade, too, right?
7th and 8th grade,
okay.
Yes. We have had such a great, generous, we even have a waiting list of the tutors. And so we are now including 7th and 8th graders, and we have had several sign up in the last week or so.
So I guess this would bode well for looking ahead to next year, aren't we?
Absolutely. This was our pilot program, and we have been very pleased with the response and also with the impact this is having on the kids. And we are anticipating doing it again next year.
Good. Now, what has the program met what you expected? Was there anything that surprised you? Or anything that maybe disappointed you thought would happen that didn't?
Well, going into the program, I was a little nervous about tutors, the volunteer tutors, to make sure that we had enough tutors. And it was a pleasant surprise that we had such a great showing of tutors who wanted to be involved. And really the depth of the difference this program is making on kids. There are some programs that help a wide variety of people a little bit, but I think this program has really focused on a smaller group, those in the program, but is really having a significant impact on maybe helping encourage them succeed.
Oh, great. Now, is it mostly just Port Huron area kids that are involved, or I know it's open to other students,
Yes.
but has it just been mostly for Port Huron students that have shown up initially?
It is open to St. Clair County and Sanilac County students, but we have had kids from Marysville, Port Huron, all the high schools in Port Huron, and a variety of middle schools. And like I say, we have a tutor who's coming from Emmett.
Wow, I mean that is cool to see that they want to do that.
Yes, countywide.
So much, great. Well, let's talk a little bit. How did this whole idea get started to begin with?
Well, the whole county is under an effort to help the area succeed through the Blue Meets Green initiative. And one of the main points of that is education. It's so important for the community and for individuals to succeed, to have a good education. And with the WISE focus on youth development and the beautiful facility we have and the opportunity for the recreation side, this was just another, a natural fit for us to help in education, which is so important.
Now, the kids that come in, they don't have to be Y members or anything like that, is it?
Absolutely not. Nope, it's open to anyone. And in fact, transportation, even SUNS has been a tremendous partner in this. They pick up at both high schools and some of the middle schools, and we also have bus tokens that we can get to anyone if transportation's an issue.
Okay, good. Well, we also know, the school year is winding down
Yes.
rather quickly. I mean, I can't believe how fast this year has gone. Any plans for during the summer months, or is it just going to be pretty much a school year program?
Right now, we do not have anything planned in the summer, but there has been talk, and so hopefully going forward, there is something that we can put together. But we are going to offer the program again next year, pending funding, which we are working at, and that's a variety. This year's program was funded through the United Way and a Gannett Foundation, and also community donors. And so we're working on securing funding to start the program up again in the fall.
Is that something that people could call you tomorrow and say, hey, I heard about it, I want to be part of it in the fall, count me in?
Absolutely, and we have a open arms campaign that's beginning, and part of the resources that will be raised for that will be help fund this program.
Is there any requirement other than being a middle school, high school student, St. Clair, St. Elect counties, that the kids need to meet to be able to come to the program?
Really, the main focus for them is to have a desire to be helped with homework. They have to bring homework. You know, we've had kids who've signed up just for the recreation part and then get the added benefit of doing the homework, but they do need to bring homework each week.
So kind of explain the daily schedule. The boys obviously come in on Tuesdays, girls on Thursday, but tell us a little bit, how does that day flow?
Well, they come in about 3 o'clock, the program starts, and we sit down as a group and have a family-style meal, which for a lot of these kids, this is really the only time they sit and have dinner conversation. During that time, we have had programs with Jennifer Evans from RESA has come in to do Know How to Go, which is focusing on that college-going culture. And then after the meal, they go into the homework and work on homework until 4 o'clock. Then they go down and, like this week, the girls are going to have a Zumba class, and the guys are going to play basketball. But it could be swimming, it could be dodgeball, it could be volleyball, a variety of activities. And, you know, not to let the kids know, but they're also, these recreation activities are all values-based. They're learning teamwork. They're learning a variety of other life skills while they're enjoying their recreation. And then at 5 o'clock, they come back up to the classroom, and Sons, which has been a great partner in getting this program going, leads a little wrap-up session. And each week they have a topic that may be about choices that are made in life and how they affect. So they do a great job leading that portion.
What a neat program. How do you match up the students with the tutors? Or is it just kind of like a draw, or by subject, or how do you do that?
Well, subject is part of it. And we have one tutor, Amanda, and she has her degree in physics, so she's been great at helping with the math students. But it's been a natural selection of personalities, and you know, some will try different tutors, but it's kind of just evolved on its own, that portion.
Great. And any requirements for the tutors, or other than just having a desire to help our local kids?
That's the main focus, is just a desire to help kids succeed, and basic knowledge of the high school subjects, and now 7th and 8th graders.
Okay. I know we've given a lot of information about the program. You had some good stories tell us too. Where can people get some more information about this program, and what do they need to do if they want to become involved this fall?
They can call the Y at 987-6400, or they can go on to the Y's website at bluewaterymca.com.
What a great program, and I'm sure you had fun and looking forward to more fun.
It's been great, very rewarding.
Great. Well, Susan Ellerkamp, thank you for joining us and telling us about the Y's Homework, Food, and Fun program.
Thank you, Terry.
And thank you for joining us in this edition of Dateline Schools. Hope to see you again soon.